As supply chain professionals, we have to think about everything that can go wrong. I've been doing research in port disruptions for now over 2 decades. The thing that you keep coming up with in the research is resiliency. Our supply chains have been leaned out. And when you think about leaning out, what you're doing is you're removing cost. But when you're removing cost, what you're doing is you're removing assets. You're removing warehousing facilities. You're removing people capability. You're adding some mechanization, but mechanization is not a fungible item. It's very fixed. You have a sunk cost in machinery, and so that allows you to do one thing really well. And these supply chains are very brittle. Economies of scale are really driving the leanness in our system. Instead of leanness, and that led to brittleness with these so-called black swan events. I mean, I say so-called because they seem to be more and more common now. What we have to do is we have to build a little bit more rigidity into our, not rigidity, but resiliency in our supply chain. And that can take different forms for different types of supply chains. If I'm a retailer, if I'm thinking about launching my spring season planogram, right? I have this layout for all of the clothes that are going to be displayed in my store. And that's going to come live at the end of March. I have one critical shipment from a supplier in Vietnam. Now, if I work with this one supplier and they give me the entire shipment on this one ship that then gets stuck in the Panama Canal for some reason or the other, guess what happens to my whole launch strategy, right? So when we think about that, that's a very, very brittle supply chain. So what could be a better option? You obviously have to build some sort of contingency planning in this, and usually contingencies involve some sort of replication or some sort of duplicity. So with duplicity, you have, okay, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. Maybe we can ship some of these items by air and have a minimum requirement for every single store in our main regions, and then ship the bulk by ocean and have it maybe on two or three different. And because why do I want to put everything on one in one 40-foot container? Because it costs much less per unit. But if I distribute this load onto three or four different less than container load shipments, it's going to cost me a little bit more. But then the flip side of that is if that one container gets stuck somewhere, then that's not going to prevent me from launching my entire spring season for this particular retail chain. As supply chain professionals, we have to think about everything that can go wrong. If I put all my eggs in one basket, am I going to lose that basket? And if I lose that basket, what does it do to my go-to-market strategy? What does it do to my customers' loyalty and my market share? And that's critical. And there's research has shown that when there is a supply chain disruption, you can see a 13% or even a 15% reduce, and that's average reduction in your share and your stock prices. And that can last for up to a year or 2 years after the disruption.